All right, joining us now is Eddie Hall, who is a yogi. Is one of the best people when it comes to performing yoga. And do you perform yoga? How do we get into that, Eddie? What would we say? You do yoga? Is that how we do it?
Yes, I practice yoga pretty religiously for the past 5 years, and I would say to get into it, just try it. Just go to a class, give it a chance.
All right, but you are prolific in your ability to do yoga because you won the state championship here in Maryland and also just competed in the USA Yoga National Championships in San Antonio this past weekend. How did it go? How'd you do?
It went wonderful. I scored in the top 10, which was my goal for this year. Last year, I finished 14th in the country, so I set that goal a year ago, and I finished 9th in the country. So I'm very proud of that.
Very good, and you should be proud. Congratulations. Now, I think this is awesome because you were into fitness before you got into yoga, but then you started yoga 5 years ago. And did I hear right that you lost 20 pounds and that you were a pretty fit guy before you started yoga? How did that happen?
Yeah, I was a little more bulky, I guess. I had more muscle, more water weight than I needed. And once I started doing yoga, I started Bikram yoga, which is extremely warm. It's 105 degrees. 40% humidity, so you sweat a lot while you're in class. It's one of the more strenuous forms of yoga out there. And so that brought me down to 165, and I've been there for the five years ever since.
All right, so we have a lot of people who do yoga. I've done yoga in my own home before. I haven't gone to a class, but there are a lot of guys out there especially who think of yoga as something that girls do. It's a chick thing. You know, the yoga pants, the Lululemon, the whole 9 yards. You know, do you have to turn in your man card in order to do yoga? Of course not, because you know you're pretty fit and you're pretty you've got a nice physique, if I may say so.
Thank you. Thank you. No, you definitely don't. Yoga is for everybody, and I believe that guys really need it even more than women do, because men are generally a lot tighter, and which leaves you a lot more open to injury, especially when you're working out pretty hardcore. So doing the yoga, incorporating the flexibility aspect will really change the way you work out. You'll be able to get deeper range of motion in all your exercises that you do for strength training. And plus just being able to balance on one leg creates a lot of leg strength, a lot of total body strength, core strength. And just holding certain postures where your muscles are contracted for an extended period of time. It's basically an isometric contraction on the muscles, so that'll help build the muscle strength and endurance at the same time.
This has become pretty popular with athletes as well. I know Ray Lewis was big into it. Are you seeing that in your daily life, athletes now getting into yoga?
Most definitely. And if you look at even CrossFit has weekly yoga classes. The P90X workout, which is very popular for guys, has the weekly yoga classes built into that as well. So it's everywhere. People are starting to realize the benefits of yoga.
All right, I'm looking at a picture of you right now. You have one leg in front of your stomach. You're on 2 hands off the ground, and your other leg is behind your head.
Yes.
What pose is that called, and is that the hardest pose that you do?
It is. That's called the Om pose. It took me about 3 or 4 years of constant training to be able to get in that position and hold it with good form. So it's something that you build upon. My hips have always been pretty flexible, so that was a little bit easier for me than the majority of people out there.
Right.
But once you just practice, and then you can get better at any of those postures out there.
All right. There's a guy listening right now who's thinking about doing it. Should he try the Bikram yoga right away? That's the hot one that you talked about, or is there a yoga for beginners, a 101 that would be a better fit to start?
Well, the Bikram yoga class that I go to, and actually any Bikram yoga class in the entire world that you go to will be the beginning series, which is for everybody. It's 26 postures. It's very safe, and it is in the heat, so you would have to just drink water before you get there, drink a lot of water afterwards to rehydrate, but it is very safe for anybody.
Is naked yoga a real thing, or is that just something made up on the internet? Do people actually?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard there's a studio in New York City, I believe, that does that now.
Really? That's interesting. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, and congratulations for finishing in the top 10.
Thank you so much.
It's not an easy accomplishment, and best of luck to you, and keep on doing that yoga thing. Thanks, Eddie. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
That is Eddie Hall, who is the director at the Baltimore Fitness and Tennis in Pikesville, and he is a top 10 yoga national championship. Just competed in San Antonio. Good for him.